The crimes of the IDF and the shield of impunity. Brothers and sisters, today I stand before you to speak not of rumor, not of exaggeration, but of reality, the grim reality of the crimes committed by the Israeli Defense Forces. Crimes that the world has seen with its own eyes, yet too often pretends to be blind to. From Gaza to the West Bank, from Lebanon to Syria, the pattern is clear. Homes are bombed into rubble. Schools and hospitals, places where children should be safe, become targets of destruction. Families are buried under the ruins of their own homes. Entire neighborhoods are erased, as if human life can be measured in square meters of land. And yet, after every massacre, after every violation of international law, the same script repeats. The IDF calls it self-defense. Politicians and powerful nations echo the excuse. International institutions call for restraint, but never for justice. The blood of innocence is washed away with statements, with silence, with deliberate inaction. But it does not end there. The cruelty reaches darker places, crimes that strip away every shred of humanity. Women have been raped in front of their families. Soldiers have unleashed dogs upon prisoners, forcing unspeakable acts meant not only to torture the body, but to break the soul. One boy was dragged from his home, stripped completely naked and humiliated. Soldiers shoved objects inside his body and then set one of their military dogs upon him. That child, innocent and terrified, was assaulted in a way no words can truly capture, not only to torture him, but to scar a whole community with shame. And there was an old woman, frail and defenseless, who lived her life in dignity until IDF soldiers unleashed their dogs upon her. The animal tore into her flesh while soldiers stood by. She was left broken, ripped apart by an act designed not for war, but for cruelty. Palestinian homes, once sanctuaries of family life, are destroyed not only with bulldozers, but with mockery soldiers laughing as they humiliate women, mocking them with their own clothing and underwear scattered across the ruins. And what of the children? Children who should be chasing footballs in the streets, not bullets. Children whose laughter should echo in schoolyards, not be silenced by gunfire. Children are shot in the head, executed as if their lives were worth less than nothing. This is not crossfire. This is not mistaken identity. This is deliberate, calculated terror. It is the destruction of innocence itself. And now, brothers and sisters, they have gone further still. They have lost their humanity altogether. Listen to their soldiers, their leaders, their supporters. They speak openly of killing everyone in Gaza. They make no distinction between fighter and civilian, between man, woman, or child. They chant about wiping out entire families. They laugh and boast of how many children they killed that day, turning death into a point of pride. What kind of army, what kind of people celebrates the murder of children as if it were victory? This is not defense. This is genocide, carried out with arrogance, with cheers, with applause. There are stories of soldiers dragging men from their homes, beating them until their bones broke, and forcing them to kneel for hours in the burning Sunday. There are stories of people stripped naked at checkpoints, mocked and filmed for entertainment. There are fathers killed in front of their children, mothers forced to cradle their dead babies as soldiers watch with indifference. Ambulances are blocked, medics are shot. The wounded are left to bleed to death because mercy has been erased from the equation. Consider this: journalists assassinated for daring to report the truth, farmers killed in their fields, entire olive groves, centuries-old trees that fed families for generations burned and uprooted in an act of cultural erasure. Mosques desecrated, cemeteries bulldozed, and religious sites turned into military outposts. Collective punishment imposed on millions of civilians in direct violation of the Geneva Conventions. These are not isolated incidents. These are not accidents. They are policies, deliberate tools of domination. And through it all, they repeat the same propaganda that the IDF is the most moral army in the world. They claim they avoid killing civilians. They claim every massacre is the fault of Hamas. They say Hamas uses civilians as human shields. But the truth, brothers and sisters, is that it is they who use human shields. They force Palestinians into homes while they occupy rooftops. They hide behind civilian neighborhoods while they rain fire upon them. They carry out executions in plain sight, then shift the blame to the very people they oppress. They kill children and blame their deaths on others, as if a bullet to the head were someone else's crime. And beneath these excuses lies an even deeper arrogance, a belief that they are above humanity itself, that because they call themselves the chosen people, they can treat others as subhuman, that their destiny gives them permission to dispossess, to humiliate, to torture, and to kill. They cloak their crimes in theology and nationalism, convincing themselves and the world that their violence is righteous, that their domination is ordained. But no faith, no scripture, no belief can justify the violation of another's humanity. To claim chosenness while practicing cruelty is not holiness, it is blasphemy against humanity itself. This is the greatest lie of all, that cruelty can be dressed up as morality, that slaughter can be painted as self-defense. They call themselves moral while their actions scream otherwise. They call themselves just while they commit the most unjust of crimes. And what does the world do? It arms them, it funds them, it shields them from accountability. When cases are brought to international courts, they are blocked or dismissed under political pressure. When human rights organizations raise their voices, they are smeared as biased. When ordinary people protest, they are silenced, criminalized, or ignored. This is impunity, a system where one army is placed above the law, untouchable, unpunished, where the victims are forced to bury their dead in silence while the perpetrators return home as heroes, where the narrative of security is used to justify every crime, and the narrative of terror is used to strip the oppressed of their humanity. But let us be clear. No nation, no army, no soldier should ever stand above justice. The IDF's crimes are not merely crimes against Palestinians, they are crimes against humanity itself. When the world accepts them without consequence, it tells every oppressor that power is greater than law, that violence is stronger than truth. We must refuse to accept this. We must refuse to allow the shield of impunity to stand unbroken. For if we remain silent, tomorrow's victims will fall under the same bombs, the same bullets, the same lies. Justice is not a favor. It is a right. And until the crimes of the IDF are called what they are, rape, torture, humiliation, desecration, executions of children, the destruction of homes and dignity, genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity, and until the perpetrators are held accountable, there will be no peace, only a cycle of blood and denial. The world has excused too much for too long. It is time to strip away the shield of impunity. It is time to demand justice, not just for Palestine, but for the very idea of humanity itself.